Oh my. Oh yes, 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 yes. And the oh my goodness, the hands are just whoa, extraordinary. Geometrical fingers, triangular fingers. Isn't that bizarre? Wonderful. Huh, what a treat. So what is this? A baseball? Well, let's see what it says. Keep an eye on the ball. Keep an eye on the ball. No, this one is keep an eye in the ball. You've got to look inside the ball because it's a kaleidoscope inside a baseball. And the optics is extremely fine. Very original packaging. There's the entrance to it, and when we look inside, especially looking at articles on the table, there's lots of things to look at. And the hands and the fingers is really bizarre because usually the optical system we've got there. Tremendous amount of entertainment there looking at it, and I do love the idea of the packaging like that. So I'm looking at some of my kaleidoscope collection, and that's an outstandingly good one I picked up in Boston about 10 years ago, but I think that's a very, very fine version of it. Here's a very recent one I received, I think only about a year ago for Christmas, and it's a little tiny brass one, a reproduction one probably from 100 years ago. It's got a nice little attachment to put over your neck, and the optics about this is it's very fine indeed. Like the other one, it's what they call a kaleidoscope. There's no little coloured little pieces at the end. What you're looking at is what you're looking at down there, but split up in all sorts of geometrical shapes. And again, with finger work, it's very, very bizarre, but wonderful. I love this because it's so extremely compact and small, and very, very, and fairly robust actually. So as something you can take out into the woods when you're out looking at bits of grass, looking at insects and so on. And the geometry you get from it is fabulous, and it's very, very clearly weighed. So excellent optics on this one as well. I give it a very high mark. This one I got because it's such a bizarre shape. It's not actually a particularly strong effect optically, but look at it. Have you ever seen a kaleidoscope look like that before? Never in my life. Which end do I look at? I'm not sure actually. Oh, well, it could be either end, but well, with this end, we'll turn this up the camera, and you're looking at 4 round things. Extraordinary, but what you're supposed to do is look through the other end like this, and again look at things on the table and elsewhere, and we're getting some a nice effect here is with the hands somewhere away like that, and fingers going up and down gently. You get some quite nice effects there, actually. It's interesting how the hands for kaleidoscope are really quite an interesting thing to look at, because you're getting, this one isn't triangulated, it's square. You're getting 4 sides of reflective material on a long tunnel and some quite interesting effects in it. And it's not particularly good optics, but extremely interesting shape, and quite a robust one too, quite a strong one. So another one for the collection. This is one of the best optics, I think, because it's a tapering one. It's one of those ones which slightly tapers, so you get what looks like a geodesic dome. Well, there is actually a dome inside. It's called a Kaleido-Fantasy, and when I look inside, it's with lots of light. There's no good holding up to the light because there's no light coming into it. The light has to come in through here and come back into your eye. And when you're looking at it, you're getting some quite interesting effects. I'll try it on the camera here, but it's going to be a lot more fun when we look at it with a good camera work. I don't know. We'll see. We'll judge that later on. But it's got some quite nice effects on this, and it's all done by turning a little wheel at the end, and then the tapering effect creates some really quite really nice to watch at shapes and patterns and merging and unmerging. So a good one. Then these other ones are all the tapering sorts, which creates an extraordinary effect. Just hold it up to the camera like that, and all you get is a thing with lots and lots of dots. But there is actually, if I start feeding things into the back of this, see what happens. Look at this. This is just a straw. Look how many movements there are going on there. It's just a single red straw going into it, and you get this extraordinary multiplicity of straws, because this is a highly polished aluminium that makes the effect. If we try something in green, it looks a little bit almost as if it's some sort of plant, actually. I think I'll try the other way around. I think this is going to look like plant leaves, but it's actually a little strap to hold things. But very nice effect, that. And I like this one here because it's very bright orange. I think anything which is a good colour is good stuff. So there's 4 things to show. The last one which I like, oh no, hang on, there's 5 ones, because I'm going to show the feather as well. I've discovered when you start putting feathers into it, they sort of grow in a very bizarre way as I'm pushing it through. It's getting very strange, and it's as if it's growing through the swirl with a high-speed camera, with a time-lapse camera. Very strange. But there's holes on the side. I'll show you this final effect is getting these, and when you put these across like that, look at that. Interesting, isn't it? You're getting some frames there, but in very interesting ways too. So this type of tapering kaleidoscope is exceptionally interesting, I think, and it's fairly recent and quite modern. These last two are showing the same effect, but in different forms. This one, for instance, is incidentally, this is Caspar Schwaber's work, but this one here was invented about 10 years earlier, so he's copying something already around. I think perhaps Victorians knew about this. It tapers. It's not such a strong reflective thing, but it's quite nice to have these straws. If I put a couple of straws going into it like this and wiggle them around inside, you get some quite nice effects here, due to the reflection and re-reflection of the things, and a number of other things you can put in there. I'd love to be able to put a finger in there, but it had to be a small child to put your finger in that small hole. It just isn't, isn't big enough for me, but a small child would have fun with that. So that was a very early version of this tapering kaleidoscope effect. And the last one is a marvellous one here, because it's about three interesting things involved with it. It's tapering for the start, from there down to there, and there's things inside. Can you hear it? And it turns out that there's marbles, one or two blue ones, and then, whoa, let me do a bit of that. And then also, there's parts of along here, there's a little band going around where they're taking away the reflective material, so light can come in from the outside. And if you illuminate that with a bright torch, look at the effect here. I'll hold it up like that, and I'll put this up to here, and we're getting some wonderful effects as we make the marbles run up and down. I'll try it with the one that's a bit nearer the end, and also you just light it up at the very end spot. It's quite a nice effect there as well, and put it on the well. It's no different. There's symmetry there, so whether I put it on the side or it doesn't make much difference. But the idea of having a swarm of meteorites coming towards you, that's what it reminds me of when I first saw this type of kaleidoscope, and I thought, what a marvellous effect that is. So that's a very exceptional version, and we had these on the website at one time, and I think they're still around. It's a matter of looking out for them. The biggest one I ever saw made was about 6 foot high. Amazing. You had to have a crane to lift it up and so on. But that's really is the creme de la resistance of all the tapering kaleidoscopes, I think. And the last one to show you. Kaleidoscopes, I'm still looking for them. They're still inventing them, and I'm still trying to find more. But these are particularly nice ones.